All right, go into the hardware store, get me a hacksaw. If you come back in 2 minutes, I'll give you another $100. Here. Okay? No, fucking hardware store, you mother...
Welcome to In Defense Of, making the case for overlooked, forgotten or derided movies in 5 minutes or less. Don't have 5 minutes? Here's 5 seconds. Today, In Defense Of, Last Man Standing, a 1995 straight-to-video action film from the masters of 90s straight-to-video action films, PM Entertainment.
Yes.
Well, what did he say?
He said the word fuck a lot.
When bank robber Snake Underwood is released from jail without charge, arresting officer Kurt Belmore suspects foul play on the force. After his veteran partner is gunned down by another cop, his suspicions are confirmed. Hunted by Underwood's gang on one side and corrupt lawmen on the other, Belmore and his wife Annabella go on the run and look for a way to take down both the cops and the robbers. Not seen my reviews for Rage and Riot? Start there for the lowdown on direct-to-video overlords PM Entertainment and their all-in approach to action movies. Last Man Standing is just as excessively entertaining as you might expect, but it's elevated by a strong cast for a movie of this level. And that, you see, is why Last Man Standing may be the best movie PM ever released. Mission of Justice star Jeff Wincott takes the lead here and once again shows why he's the cream of the direct-to-video action crop by delivering both requisite martial arts skills and decent acting. His assortment of pastel blazers doesn't distract from the fact that he really is a pretty good actor. He was in The Wire after all. Able to shine in a much beefier role than her turn in Rage, Gillian McWhirter plays Wincott's wife Annabella. I'm not sure why she never truly made it outside of Blood Fists and latter Brian Usner output. It's interesting that the movie follows a married couple. Action movie romance usually draws two single people together via a dangerous situation or has an established coupling tested with temptation and deceit. Not so here, they're just happily married. This is the sort of unintentionally unusual thing that PM did. The biggest name here is Jonathan Banks as Wincott's doomed partner. Banks did decades of genre and TV work prior to his success in Breaking Bad, and now that he's a known quantity, I constantly spot him in things I had no idea he was in before. I recently watched Airplane for what must be the 900th time, and there he is.
It's about 2 more minutes, Chief.
PM tended to cast an established character actor in each of their films for a smidgen of genuine quality, and Banks is just that. I also have to mention Robert Lasardo, who has been a thug in everything. You know how Mr. Chen is in every action movie ever where an Asian guy is required? Lasardo is the same for Latino criminals, like a handsome Danny Trejo. So that's a tidy little cast, but what about the true draw of a PM film? How's the action? I mentioned in my Riot review that PM aimed to have some sort of action every 7 minutes. Even if it's just someone running, that counts, as does nudity. Let's see if Last Man Standing can deliver. The film opens with a bank robbery, and less than 3 minutes in we get our first exploding car. 6 minutes, a shootout in a hotel that culminates with a high fall into a pool. 12 minutes, nudity. 15 minutes, Wincott visits a gun range. 21 minutes, a shootout at a chemical plant including a truck crash and exploding flip. 33 minutes, another bank robbery. Now that's a gap of 9 minutes since our last action concluded, but that doesn't matter. This is the centerpiece of the movie and the sequence itself lasts for 9 minutes. There's a car chase that includes flips and a motorbike pursuit which segues onto the escape vehicle and then into Wincott being dragged behind it. 46 minutes, shootout in a car park including this cool over and under shot. 52 minutes, target practice. 53 minutes, giant explosion. 59 minutes, brief nudity. 62 minutes, is this nudity? I don't know, I'm counting it. 64 minutes, nudity that escalates into a strip club punch-up. 67 minutes, cops shoot their way through a house and someone gets hit by a car. 69 minutes, shootout in another club that escalates into another car chase and climaxes with a double car barrel roll, one off a bridge. 78 minutes, testicular damage. 81 minutes, a subway shootout finale. Last Man Standing delivers in the action stakes, and by putting together an impressive cast, it's elevated to genuinely a good film status.
You put mushrooms in my cereal.
You like mushrooms.
Weird moments with no explanation are sort of a trademark for PM. See the BDSM couple in Rage and Burger on the Wall in Riot. Last Man Standing is too straight-laced to host these oddities, and when they show up, they seem out of place. The best example is the climax, which is literally Weekend at Bernie's. That would have been fine in Rage or Riot, but here, it doesn't fit. There's a scene where Wincott tries to get Lasardo to cooperate, and Lasardo gives this big speech about freedom in America and how he'll never do what Wincott asks. Wincott knees him in the balls and Lasardo immediately changes his tune. It lands in a way where you can understand what the filmmakers are going for, but the required amount of storytelling skill, timing and delivery isn't present. They've rushed it and haven't quite got it right.
You know, you got some jumbo balls, my friend.
80s action excess like that of Commando and the self-aware adrenaline of the Crank movies are the gateway to all PM films. I said it in my Rage review and it still holds true now. 1995 saw theatrical releases for Mortal Kombat and Sudden Death. I love both of those films, but if they were in cinemas, Last Man Standing deserved to be there alongside them. It's another example of a PM film being sadly overlooked and lost to time, made all the more unjust due to this one mostly avoiding the B-movie weirdness of other efforts. This could be the jewel in the PM crown. We're seeing companies like Arrow and 88 Films in the UK and Shout Factory and Code Red in the US putting out tons of cult horror, sci-fi and westerns in restored Blu-ray releases which are finding an audience decades after their release. But there's a whole wave of equivalent action movies that aren't being touched and are going left undiscovered, only celebrated in action blogs in the corners of the internet. There are some exceptions. 88 Films have put out Charles Bronson canon stuff, and Arrow Video did recently release Hired to Kill on Blu-ray, a 90s direct-to-video action gem that formerly did the rounds in the bargain basement DVD circuit, but I suspect that was because Charles Bronson is a bankable name and Hired to Kill's director is somewhat popular for his horror films. While I'm not going to complain about being able to pick up Rage for a penny, I would love to see these movies get the attention they deserve. When rubbish like Scalps is available restored on Blu-ray, it does irk me. Maybe one day we'll get that Gary Daniels box set.